beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to my latest Ascension update. It's been a while, and today I'm ready to go and do my service work by sharing some of the things that I feel are really important at this time. Sharing a bit about what people have been sharing with me, within the group, or what I'm experiencing personally, and in my relationships as well, and with Gaia, in general. There's such an immense wave of purification happening now at this exact time. Yesterday I wrote a beautiful post about Mary's Assumption Day and the love of the Divine Mother. You can go see and read that. It's also an article on my webpage. And what is really important at this time is for people to just start embracing where they are on their path and embracing the Ascension path as a daily commitment. So a lot of times we have these doubts and fears and insecurities, and what we do with those is we separate ourselves from our purpose. We a lot of times when we are wanting a divine reunion, even with other people, we want to be in union with them, we want to co-create with them, but we say, well, I don't think my purpose matches yours, and we continue to make this division, we continue to make this separation. And as long as we will still be doing this, we will build these gaps instead of bridges. So we need to learn how to build bridges. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we become aware of ourselves creating the separation. So, as you know, the human mind has the capability, because it is so divinely intelligent, it is created this way to create. Once you progress on your soul's path, and you have all this wisdom that you have, maybe you have been traveling and exploring the outer worlds of creation, which are from level 1 to level 6 density, reaching back to level of 7 density, which is your unique, authentic, individualized soul. You take that back and you start creating on a new, more advanced path, because now you have all the knowledge. You're not a baby soul anymore. You have all these experiences, and you start creating and you start doing service work. The same goes for being here. So why we are here is to bring that love that we can hold in the higher realms and live it here. And it is very important for us to start building those bridges, like I said. And the first thing is to be aware when we are not really coming from that authentic soul love. And what's happening now is a lot of us forget that we're here as one family. And when we are, for example, we didn't have a lot of experiences with receiving support in our life and having supportive people around us, and sometimes we're still used to that. And then all of a sudden when we shift, we're in transition period, there's so much support there for us. And oftentimes we're still seeking. There's so many seekers on this planet, and yet we forget that the infinite seeking doesn't really bring you home, which is always here. You're always home, in the space of divine remembrance, of knowing your soul origin, why you're here, and finally fulfilling your divine purpose as just being yourself, sharing your unique gifts without having a feeling that this needs to be being productive to something, belong somewhere, to somebody, creating something from this forced state, which is this controlling state, not something that's completely natural to you. So when we do that, we move into separation instead of unity. And as well as not receiving assistance from others. There's so much assistance out there. And sometimes when people share with me, I'm happy that they do, because with that sharing, they open themselves to maybe receiving a gentle word of guidance, maybe just sharing from somebody who's done the work, who's done the inner work, who've gone through the experience. So Ascension is a daily commitment. Like I said, sometimes we have these states which bring us more into the vibration of separation, and we have those doubts that say, well, maybe that's not for me. And I had a lot of people, sometimes they say, well, I experienced this and that, but at the same time I was also feeling pulled. Maybe I can't do it because maybe it's just not for me. Ascension is not something that's out there. It's not something that's reachable. It is a state of your own self-attainment, which is always there as a seed plant potential. It is there. It is your original template, soul. It's soul returning home to that state. And it is not something that maybe it is for somebody, maybe it's not for somebody else. It's a choice, and everybody can do it. It's just maturing into the state of really devoting ourselves, committing ourselves to that path. And sometimes we all have our human days, let's say, when maybe these lower emotions come to surface, when we're doing inner work and things come up and we're surprised. We say, whoa, I didn't expect that to come through, because, as you know, we're releasing and integrating in layers. And at those times, sometimes we feel like we want to give up, or this is not for us. And the old seems so tempting, of course, because it's known, it's safe, it's familiar, and at the same time, it's stagnation. It's lack of expansion. As you know, our souls are all about expansion. They don't want anything else but expand. That's why they're here. That's why they exist, because they are source exploring itself through its own extensions of divine love, which is what our soul is. And through unity and harmony, this is how it is unfolding. So when we do that, it feels so tempting, right, to go back to the old. But let me tell you this, that each time you wake up, you start a new day, you start a new moment. It's not just when you wake up, it's each moment you choose again. And you still feel those feelings and you choose it again. That's how it is. It's work, but at the same time, it's so self-fulfilling. It's so rewarding, because when you live in that state, when nothing outside governs you but yourself, which is your own inner master, your own inner trustee, your own inner spirit guide, your soul, your divine beloved. And when you live from that state and you know you've done the inner work, it's just so pleasant, it's just so you, it's so natural and authentic. And you know that whatever you've experienced so far has been worth it. And I have a lot of people sometimes complaining. They share all these different stories and they still feel victimized by the external and they don't feel safe. Some people don't even feel safe going to nature. They feel something will happen to them, or all these things. These are these primal fears which all originate from our first primal cause, which is the cause of separation. When we went out into the external experience and said, well, hello, goodbye for now, because I'm going to go into this journey all by myself and experience. And at a certain level, you want to come back to the group. You want to come back to that group soul. You want to come back to your true ascending state, which is a space of family, of soul union. And once these things start happening to us, we got to embrace it. Because it's not like it's happening to us. It's our soul deciding for it. And all of a sudden, the soul brings us those experiences. There's a lot of people who want something so bad. When it's just words, they're like, I want it, I want this partner, I want this, I want this perfect life. And they get it. What we do is we're not afraid of, like I said, our lack of power. We're truly afraid of our power and what to do with it and how to express those gifts. To us, it seems almost like terrifying at times, You finally get it. Sometimes the only thing we wish to do is run away. Everybody talks about the so-called twin flame runner syndrome. It doesn't just apply to the so-called twin flame realms. Twin flame, twin soul is a state of consciousness, really. It is a state of creating the third energy between the two who have that same joint path in union. And this then expands to the group and communities. And that's what we're doing at this time during this transition years. So this runner syndrome is just the inner runner. It's us not willing to level up, to mature, to finally grab the wheels and say, wait a minute, is it really me? Am I the only one responsible for my life? Because a lot of people, they're in this questioning mode, to be employed, to do this, it's safe, how to generate new ways of income, abundance, all these things. This seems so frightening to some people. And yet, this knowing that it's only you who governs your inner vortex is your source of abundance. That for some people it's very hard to accept. And yet when you do, it's so natural. It is just who you are. It is what generates everything. It's what propels creation forward. And like I said, you can have everything, you can get it right in front of your face, but if you don't know how to live it, how to walk that path, it's meaningless. You can have the best things in life. You can have your divine partner standing right there in front of your face, and if you won't level up, if you won't say, okay, I wanted it, I created it, but now what? A lot of people now are at the state when they've released so much, but the integration part seems more difficult to walk into, to expand into, to allow it to flourish. And they're at this period when they're saying, okay, so now what? And they feel this lack of guidance, they feel this lack of trust. And yet this is so important, because it is through this emptiness that will completely wash us over, that will completely purify us, that we will really start creating from our true divine fire of life, that spark of the giver of life that we all are in truth. We are all here to give life. We're here to be procreators, not in the sense of, what I mean, procreation in general, but to procreate life, to create life and matter, to multiply our love forms, and to just keep spreading that love through everything that we do. This is love in service. This is love in action. So like I said, the human mind has the power, how the human mind was created. Our human template is something brilliant, and it has the power to either create or destroy. As you know, all energy is neutral. And once you have the divine knowledge, understanding, you can still stray away and go more to the destruction path. And a lot of these inner saboteur parts that we hold, either way, either they're from parallel realities or whatnot, it's all happening now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You're here to own it. You're here to do the soul integration work. A lot of times we want to know, what were we in a past life to have a better understanding of this. But it's not what you were or who you were. It's maybe the energy pattern that you're still drawing forth with you, and you still keep repeating it. And it's not aligned with your authentic soul, which is pure love. It's pure freedom to create, to become a creator being in form. And like I said in my Divine Mother Love writing, it's that it's very natural and simple and easy for us to experience that Divine Mother Love, the love of creation, the love of our brilliance of source, when we are in higher realms and in our source of beingness. But to be in the world of matter, to be in this world of density and still have that love, and not just to feel it, but to give it yourself, to give that gift of life, that is the gift, and that is the challenge at the same time. And this is where this bridge comes, and when you come to this level, when you feel like this brick wall, what you can do is, and you can imagine they had castles and they had bridges. They either build a bridge, or if they didn't want it, they withdrew it, and there was like just this big dam. So this is our choice, and it's where we are. And remember that each step will be that commitment, no matter what you will feel, what you will still be doing on internally, working on internally, because a lot of times we forget that Ascension is not just reading Ascension books or reading about Ascended Masters and these messages that are here for us to help us move forward. It's not just about changing your diet, it's not just about thinking positive. It is about you doing inner work. And that inner work will get you to a higher and higher template of being. And it's you who does the alignment, and then the guidance then comes from that alignment. If you're in a certain very low density vibration, you can't attune to the higher levels. And a lot of times people say, why do you have these guides and I don't feel this? Are you privileged in a way? And the only thing you can really share with them is that there's not such a thing. That doesn't exist. It's just you already worked this path. You've already done it. You've created the bridge. You can attune to these higher levels and then bring that forth. That's all it is. There's no separation in that. Like I said, it's there for all of us because it is of all of us. We are all source. And it's not something that you can say it's either for me or it isn't. It's just what your soul is ready to choose. But the moment you choose, remember, you're going to have to choose it again and again and again and again. Each day, each now moment. It's not about giving up when you feel unpleasant energies coming through. There's a lot of people, this stuff, all this stuff that you were suppressing for so long might come up. All of a sudden it comes out so intensely because you might have a beautiful divine trigger coming your way, or in a relationship or in a situation that really causes you to think, outside of your limited brain structure that's very linear. And all of a sudden it's so intense, and that's when people do the runner because it is too intense for them to face it all at once. Remember, overwhelming yourselves also is not the way. Remember to do it each step of the way. It is connected with being gentle to yourself, to really value each step and understand that the messages are in each step of the way. And each step always is a preparation. And a lot of people, they feel like they want to come home. They want to feel the sense of finally reaching it, finally belonging, finally getting there. And yet, in truth, it has nothing to do with this, because we're always home. This is what we need to really get. But, you can have someone telling you this all along, all the time, and it's just words. It needs to come through you as your own divine remembrance. When you really understand it on that higher level, you'll be able to embody it. Otherwise, it's just information. Somebody says, I've gone through this, I've done this work. And you might really resonate with it, but inner resonance comes from you doing that in your own beautiful way. And there's a lot of this happening now. This wave of energy this year is really intense, and Jupiter's in Leo, so it will continue to expand us throughout the whole year. The Leo aspect is your individuality, your gifts, your shine, your brilliance. What are you meant to do now? And this will continue to expand us because Jupiter is that planet of expansion, and it wants us to really, really break through all these veils. And like I said, it's one thing to say and read about living from the heart, but when you're in your exact physical reality, you have these triggers, you have these mirrors, and you sometimes forget to to really know that this is what it implies too. It's exact this situation. It's not in the mind that this happens. To live your heart, wow, in the mind, no. The heart expansion, the higher heart activation happens through the exact physical embodiments of the things that are occurring in your life. Maybe they're recurring, they're repetitive. And it is you, by all that you have read and gathered and, you know, felt through this mind aspect, then really, really bringing it down. And then bring it down into your body and all of your senses. There's no escaping this, because you cannot skip steps. Let's say there's still some sort of things that are sabotaging you, that are continuing to recreate the old inside of you. How do you, you know, step into the new? Well, you got to deal with this first. You can't create in the new space. Well, there's still some fogginess and gray zone area there. First to deal with that, then the new will come. A lot of people want the guidance of the whole, want to understand the whole, the overall purpose now, and they haven't even done maybe the preparatory work and these inner work steps. That's what you do. That's your purpose now. Maybe your purpose at this time is self-work, it's self-reflection, and you want to be ahead of yourself. So you want to be somewhere else now, just because you see somebody else doing it already, and you're so into it, and then you forget about just being okay with who you are now, with what you're doing now. And it is important. The biggest gift that you can give to this world now is this self-knowledge, knowledge of the self, being yourself, and then being the ambassador of the self for everybody else in your own unique way. But you cannot do that when you before you fully embrace that. It's how it is. So being okay with where we are, either way. Sometimes we all have these big desires, you know, like I have for my nature retreats and these Ascension gatherings here in the mountains, all these things, but sometimes there's just messages coming. Just be patient with it. You know, something greater will unfold because of those tiny steps that we do. We all want the bigger picture sometimes, we won't move ahead until we get really clarity on what the bigger picture will look like. That's conditional. You know, you tell your higher self, I want to know before I will jump into the new steps, before I will take that leap of faith. No, because you will never learn how to get out of your comfort zone, how you will expand yourself. You know, you don't get first the money and then you invest. First you invest, and then the confirmation and all the abundance and support will come. That's how it is in the new. That's how it is to trust your inner master and your guide to take you forward. And it is taking you forward, just know this. So remember, the love of the Divine Mother is always there for us. It is the love of all life and creation. You can just close your eyes, just have the intent to feel it in this form. It's not just something that's there for you when you pass on to the higher realms, when, you know, you activate the higher realms here and now by doing that inner work, remembering your connection with the divine at all times. Nothing is separate from that. No relationships, no event, no thing that you like, nothing is separate. Even the things you don't like, that's all one. And when you live that internal state, then all the rest will unfold so naturally. You don't have to know everything in advance. You don't need to know your future. Future is all about potentials. Let it go. Just be present with what is now, what you feel guided. Where's the joy for you now? What propels you forward in the now? What is exciting for you in the now? And forget all about these voices to tell you, you need to do this, you need to make money, you need to do all. Trust. It's all unfolding beautifully for you. And we are all taken care of, and we're here as one family. We're here to support each other. Nobody does the work. I mean, we do it ourselves internally, but we are not alone in the inner work that we do for ourselves and to the planet, because this is our biggest service to the planet, is to become the new humans, become the divine humans. This is what the planet is aligning herself with. She's going through such a major transition. Like I said, the weather patterns, we haven't had any real summer here. Some people have had too much summer. They have fires all over. Some people had flooding. Some people had amazing earthquakes. It's just how it is. And the more that we will keep aligning ourselves with the true selves, the more we will help the planet as well. It's not about making money at this point. It's not about being productive. It is about being authentic. It's about being aligned as the planet is aligning to this new higher vibratory state. It's about becoming the pillars, the bridges, and the true ambassadors of light. So guys, I'll see you in my next update. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's very simple, but as you know, truth is simple. But it will always keep you in that feeling that you're not seeking anymore. It will keep you fulfilled. You're not hungry more. You know, information always keeps you hungry for more. Divine knowing, divine truth doesn't. It just makes you feel whole and complete, and it's simple and will set you free. Until next time, as always, so much love, wisdom, and power. I'll see you soon. I love you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye.